Hello everyone, my name is Ivan Shipov. I work as a pre-sale engineer at TRASSIR. Today we will analyze the following points. Questions you need to answer so you can avoid mistakes. Popular case, solution architecture, and selection of equipment and software. The first questions what we will discuss with you relate to measurements. What is the installation height of the cameras? What is the distance from the cameras to the detection zones? And what is the width of the passage? If we look at this picture with you, we will see the dependence of the vertical angle of the camera installation on the height of the camera installation. Why hang the camera high? It's safe for the device, as well as less influence of factors for lens contamination. But there is a chance of exceeding the angle of 30 degrees. Why not hang the camera low? Well, actually just for the same reasons. There is a possibility of vandalism and the probability what the lens will be contaminated is higher. Therefore, it's worth keeping a balance here. The vertical angle of inclination is very important for the operation of the AutoTRASSIR model. This is the angle between the parallel plane of the horizontal from the installation side of the video camera and the central axis of the camera lens. It should be no more than 30 degrees, otherwise the number may not be recognized. The horizontal angle is equally important. By analogy with the vertical angle, it should not exceed 30 degrees. On this slide we can observe that a car can arrive at the point of travel without getting into the detection zone of the video camera, because the angle for a long-distance car is clearly exceeded. So, in this situation, the parameter of the width of the travel point plays a direct role. How to get out on this situation? That's right, we are adding another license plate recognition point to the system configuration. This will be both more reliable and more correct for the operation of the system. And so we need these questions in order to determine the optimal mounting point of the video camera and determine the focal length for the lens. And along with this, we will determine the optimal video camera model and server resources. The width of the passage will help us determine the number of recognition zones, as well as the number of blocking and actuating devices. It is possible to design a system based on one actuator, barrier or gate or etc. for several recognition points, but it threatens incorrect operation of the system despite some savings. The following questions relate to lighting conditions. It is important for us to clarify lighting conditions. What is the probability that the vehicle's headlights will illuminate the camera? Will there be additional light sources nearby? I'll give you an example. A situation where the camera was hung on a screen with an advertisement. What problem did we get? The load on the matrix switching the camera to IR mode at night is incorrect. People had to change the camera settings 2 times a day. So that it works correctly. Will the sun shine into the camera? For example, we were contacted by technical support with a problem. The highway patrol doesn't recognize license plates. They began to ask how and then in general. The answer is from 5 or 6 in the morning. At this time the sun rises and shines directly at the camera. It turns out that the guys did not foresee this moment. What solution can we offer? Of course, move the camera. In order for the system to work correctly, lighting condition must also be observed in the frame. The number in the frame must be readable. And unfortunately, natural or additional lighting sources can significantly spoil the frame, in which even the neural network is powerless and will not be able to help recognize the number. We are closely following this and analyzing the scan. Video recordings from nearby surveillance cameras can help us with this. If there are none, then you can install a temporary video camera of subsequent analysis of lighting conditions and other stance parameters. If there is no way to avoid illumination and not compensate for it, then you should think about changing the mounting point of the video camera. The next question to think about is, what is the speed of the vehicle at the time of number recognition? Yes, we are asking this question, and is not trivial, as it seems at first glance. The choice of camera and the choice of license for the AutoTRASSIR module depends on the answer to this question. We have two module formats, for slow speeds up to 30 km and for fast ones up to 200 km. We are situation when they ask for 200 km per hour module, thinking what the more I set the speed, the better. But this is a mistake. More is not equal to better. It is important to select a license based on a specific task. When we talk about the checkpoint, the car usually reduces the speed in advance. Well, another point what is often asked, and if in the case it is necessary to combine tasks on one server, it is possible to put a license for 30 km per hour and 200 km per hour on one server. The answer is no. In this case, it is necessary to get a license on the same type, up to 200 km per hour. It will include both detection options. And the next question, the answer to which is important for us to know, is how many cars will be in the frame at the same time when recognizing the number. The answer to it is needed to calculate the load on the server. AutoTRASSIR works as follows. The first neural network searches for and detects vehicle in the frame. After the vehicle has been detected on the object, the procedure for searching for the number begins. And after the plate with the number has been found, the procedure for recognizing the characters on it begins. This significantly increases the quality of recognition, excluding the recognition of advertising phone number on vehicle bodies, or false detection associated with attempt to sabotage the system. All this leads to an increase in the load on the server, but it can all be optimized by settings. If you are having trouble picking out equipment on your own, you can contact our presale team for assistance. In this case, we may need the following data for a more accurate selection. Photo and video of the following places: anticipated camera installation locations, passageways or roadways, and overview photo and video stands. Let's summarize the results. We need to understand the answer to the free question about the area in which the license plate recognition will be performed. Next, 6 questions about the conditions under which recognition will be performed. And if you still find it difficult to make the selection yourself, then send the answers to all the questions above and plus a photo and video of the intended recognition location to our presale service, and we will happy to help you make the right choice. Let's look at an example of how what we have learned will help us with the selection. Let's look at the most common example, what we most often encounter. The client wants to automate checkpoints at the residential complex. The client wants to review the archive 30 days. Today we will analyze the most fault-tolerant version made in the TRASSIR ecosystem. This is an opinion with the addition of access components to the point of the travel. In this case, we cover all possible scenarios as much as possible. If the number is not recognized for one reason or another, the driver can enter it, attach his ID confirming his right to travel, or call an employee via two-way audio-video communication to clarify the circumstances. Let's select the equipment for our task. These are cameras, software and a server. Let's start with the camera. In our example, we have the following data. First, camera distance from detection zone 8 meters. Second, camera installation height 3 meters. And passage width 8.6 meters, one entrance and one exit. What is, we need 2 cameras. To check how it will look, we use the program what we discussed separately at the camera selection training. If you haven't been to it, then you can find it on our channel. The program jvsg.com. We will not go into detail now. If the width is up to 6 or 6.5 meters, then a camera with 2 megapixel resolution will suit us. A 2 megapixel resolution is sufficient in our case. But if a more detailed image is necessary, then it's better to use 5 megapixel. If the distance to the detection zone is no more than 80 meters, the viewing angle about 50 degrees, Well, we are also important camera parameters what are suitable for our case. We pay special attention to lens type, SLC function, and lens aperture. We exclude options with a fixed lens. Therefore, he is considering the option with a motorized lens. For our case, a 2 megapixel camera TRD2223, or if a clearer image is required, a 5 megapixel camera TRD2253 will be suitable. We will also need license for the software to operate additional subsystems. First, access control and management system, and second, two license plate recognition system up to 30 km per hour on entry and exit. Thanks to the functionality of the software, we can solve the customer's problems. I want to tell you about 2 points. The problem: resident constantly calls the security guard with a request to skip the delivery or taxi or guest. We can facilitate the work of security and speed up the process of passing cars. You can make account for each family on the territory of the residential complex. Each resident will be able to independently enter data about upcoming visitors. In particular, you can set limits on the number of passes or on time. It is very convenient. The second point is the number is not fully recognized. On character is too dirty, and the system could not fully identify the number. We can adjust the margin of error. You can specify the required number of character what may not be recognized, and then the system will make a positive decision on admission. Yes, it is slightly reduces the safety and accuracy of work, but it increases the patency and flexibility of the system, and increases the loyalty of residents and system operators. Based on the task, we need to take into account the number of cameras, the maximum number of vehicles, and the archive time. Another important point: we need not just NVR. We need NVR what will support AutoTRASSIR neural network analytics. Suitable for our case, TRASSIR Neurostation 8220R and TRASSIR Neurostation 8820R. And so, the results of the project are as follows. The software we need: one licensed TRASSIR access control and management system, and two licensed plate recognition system AutoTRASSIR. And equipment: server, cameras, controller, switch, reader, the nomenclature of which you can see on the screen. We have come to the final. Today we have sorted out what questions should you pay attention to in order to avoid mistakes, and also picked up the equipment for our case. Thank you for your attention. We will be glad to receive any feedback about this webinar, as well as what topic you would like to see more. Bye everyone, and see you soon.